Some days you feel tired, but you don't know why. You're not really sad, not really happy either. You still work, you still talk, you still show up. But somewhere inside, something feels off. Not broken, just not okay. I've been there too. I've been there. Not for a day, for a long time. I still woke up every morning, still did what needed to be done, still smiled when I was supposed to, but there was always a quiet thought in my head. Maybe I'm just weak. Maybe I can't handle life like others do. I didn't fall apart. I didn't hit rock bottom. So I told myself, I'm fine. It's nothing. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I just didn't have a name for it. And when you can't name it, you start blaming yourself. I don't have a comeback story, no big breakthrough moment, just many days passing with this low, quiet tiredness. Until I realized something simple. I wasn't the only one. And maybe you aren't either. This feeling has a name. Some states aren't illnesses. They just never had a name. People call it autopilot, living without really being there. The day passes, but at night you can't remember what you actually felt or lived. There's also dopamine overload. Everything moves too fast, too many screens, too many things pulling your attention. So even when you finally stop, you still feel tired. And then there's something harder to see. Invisible burnout. No breakdown, no collapse. Just a quiet sense of being drained without knowing why. These states aren't dramatic. They feel like living all day under dim light. Not dark, just never clear. And this part matters. This isn't your fault. This is how many people are living in a world that never really slows down. The problem isn't you. There's something that needs to be said clearly. You're not broken. You're not lazy. And you're not behind. If you feel tired, it's not because you're weak. If you feel empty, it's not because you lack drive. The problem isn't who you are. It's how long you've had to live this way. Living on reaction. Messages come in, you respond. Tasks appear, you handle them. Day after day with no real space to pause. Your brain hasn't been resting. Not the kind of rest that's just sleep, but the kind where nothing pulls at you. Nothing demands your attention. Nothing asks you to be on. When this goes on long enough, anyone would feel exhausted. Anyone would start thinking something is wrong with them. But what's happening says nothing about your worth. It only says you've been living in a pace that doesn't leave room for being human. The pause. Nothing needs to change. No big decision. No need to become better right now. Just pause. Not to add another task. Not to fix yourself. Not to optimize your life. Just stop. For a few seconds, do nothing. This isn't an exercise. You don't need to remember it later. You don't need to promise anything to yourself. It can be very small. You're sitting there, and you notice, oh, and I'm tired. No analysis, no reason, no solution. Just noticing. That moment won't change your life. But it interrupts the automatic flow you've been stuck in for too long. And sometimes simply knowing where you are is enough for now. No pushing, no promises. No one here is going to tell you, you'll be fine. Or everything will get better. Not because those words are wrong, but because sometimes they come too early, before you've even had the chance to see where you are. Let's Roll isn't here to push you forward, and it doesn't ask you to change right now. There's just one quiet truth. The moment you notice, something has already shifted. You don't need to fix yourself today. You don't need to make a big decision. You don't need to figure out the next step. Sometimes the only thing that matters is not denying what you feel, not escaping it, not turning it into something you have to overcome. Let's Roll doesn't sell a better future. It simply opens the present moment where you're allowed to stay without being pushed to become someone else. And sometimes being allowed to stay is enough. Staying with yourself just a little longer. There's nothing else you need to do. No lesson to take away. No promise to change. If right now you feel a little lighter, a little clearer, and a little less hard on yourself, that's enough. Maybe today the only thing you need is to notice that you're here. Not to fix anything. Not to become better right away. Just to be present. If this video helped you sit with yourself for a moment, you can leave a small sign, a like, a comment if you feel like sharing, or subscribe so moments like this can find you again when you need them. No rush, no pressure. Just know that when you come back, you're not doing this alone.